And welcome back to Kings of Influence. I am one half of your hosting team, Ray William Johnson.
I'm the other lovely half, Epic Lloyd. And it is Wednesday at noon, which means it's a Kings of Influence live stream, and you're here with us. If you haven't been here very much, welcome. If you're new, welcome. If you're old, thanks for coming back. If you want to get a text from us every week when we're about to go live, you can text the word Kings to the number 43506, and we'll send you a quick text to let you know when we're about to go live, just because we know there's a lot of different ways to get notifications nowadays, and we want to be the lifeline.
Yeah, that's right. And you're gonna hear a little something in my voice. I caught something.
You caught a virus?
Lloyd. Yeah,
It's a good thing we're in this closed room.
I've been hoeing around.
Oh, yeah?
And I caught a little something.
Oh, man.
And I could feel it. It's like my throat's on fire.
Was it hurting?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And all up in here, all up in this region.
Oh, man.
I couldn't even shave.
What?
I didn't have the energy to shave, man.
Oh, I thought it was a pain thing. I was like, what's going on with your skin? Are you going to be all right? Ray's caught the leprosy. He's caught. Imagine if you could just catch leprosy from the air.
Oh, God.
Ugh.
Airborne leprosy?
Yeah. But they haven't had a, remember they used to have like leprosy camps, or like there'd be like a leper community back in
like
the
a
day?
leper colony.
Yeah. Imagine they had like a flu colony. Like if you got the flu, they just shipped you off to an island. And you have to live there for a while.
Well, it'd be like a flu dating app. It's like when you still want to date,
But you have the flu.
Right, but you're contagious.
Oh, yeah.
$1 million idea.
What would we call that? I heart flu? I don't know.
I was trying to play off of Tinder or Grindr.
Flu season?
Flu season. I'm not on my game today. It's flu season.
Yeah. I don't ever get sick.
Never.
I don't get sick. I mean, now, of course, now that I say that, I'm going to get sick inevitably, but I almost kind of welcome it because it's like, now when I take Theraflu, I don't feel guilty about it because I'm doing it for a reason rather than just trying to make my weekend more interesting.
It's because your rhymes are sick as fuck.
Hey!
That's what it
is. Yeah. Well, I'm bummed you're sick, buddy, but
I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I just, after this podcast, I'm going to go home and take a nap.
Yeah.
Snuggle with my cats. I think one of my cats actually got me sick. I don't even know if that's possible. Feline to human.
Feline influenza?
Yeah. Or something.
Were you making out with your cat?
No, but my cat was sick and I was taking care of her.
Oh.
Because I could hear it, like her barely breathing through one nostril, it like whistling all night and driving Kelly nuts.
Did you make it soup?
No, but I fed it wet food more often than I normally do.
That's
what
a
you're supposed to
slope.
do.
My cat is addicted like a crack baby now. Like she's like all snooty about her dry food and shit.
Yeah.
And we'll just let it sit there and let me watch her get skinnier and be like, you're doing this to me because you're not feeding me this wet food anymore. They're conniving, those little cats.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Trifling.
Trifling.
That's what they call it. Well, you had mentioned earlier, you wanted to talk about Bernie because you had heard Bernie jumped into the 2020 presidential race.
Bernie's getting fought in, man. He's going in. Like he's in the gang.
You feeling the burn?
Well, I don't know. I feel like it's noteworthy to talk about because it was such a big part of the election last go round. And the news is fresh meat. Bernie would be the oldest president if he got elected. Is that correct?
And how old is he?
76?
I think Trump's older than him.
No, Trump is 72. I did do this research.
Oh, okay.
So if elected, Joe Biden would be the oldest president who hasn't decided to run yet.
Right.
Bernie Sanders would definitely be the oldest president. And Donald Trump right now currently is the oldest president.
Right.
So Bernie Sanders put his name in the hat to run for president, I think yesterday.
Yeah.
And you guys were just telling me he raised $6 million already, which is
in a day.
Impressive.
Yeah, which is a lot more than people thought he would raise.
Really?
Well, yeah, because the thing with Bernie is Bernie, he's an ideas kind of guy. He's not the candidate that leads with charisma or personality. In fact, his personality kind of seems like a grumpy old man.
Yeah, it does seem like
or a drunk uncle.
Staldorf and Wutler, or one of the old guys in the Muppet Show.
Yeah, exactly. But his ideas carry him across the finish line because they're so different. They stand out. His democratic socialism. Well, now you've got a whole stable of candidates who are embracing Bernie-esque ideas.
Yeah, I felt like the response wasn't as warm as I had expected it to be by
Yeah.
the general public. A lot of people feel like either A, he kind of messed it up for Hillary Clinton, which I don't buy at
Right.
all, or B, kind of you missed your wave, so like get out of the way now, like because you just got older and grumpier, and he
Right.
does look significantly older. I feel like as you get older, every year is like a dog year in terms of how you look, because like the difference between like 30 and 35, you're gonna look the same, but the difference between like 80 and 85, that's a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And secondly, yeah, and for me, like it takes a lot of energy to be the president. Why do I want an 80-year-old man? Because he would be 80 at some point during his presidency if he
Sure.
got elected. That's too old, man. Like, you should be watching The Price is Right and like kicking it at that time. You're not supposed to be like going into the hardest job you've ever had in your life.
That's ageist of you, sir.
They're great. I'm using
Old
it
people
to
have value.
Of course they have value, but they also get tired and need a lot of naps. And you know, they can't, it's hard. I'm just saying it's hard. Like, and I feel like you wouldn't want to run a marathon at 80. You know, you wouldn't want to do any. Anyway, I like his ideas. I think he's good. I think he's charismatic. I can't see him. I mean, I wonder how he would be in a conflict or in a wartime, or if something shitty happened. Somebody who is of that mind. I wonder if that's the right type of mind. That's what I wonder about sometimes. You know, because the president is the head of the armed forces first and foremost. You know, and you never talk about that. You never hear about that stuff from Bernie. What's his military strategy? What's his strategy on, you know, defending the country? What's his strategy on North Korea? Shit like that.
I don't know. He's probably been vocal about that, considering when these candidates run, they get it asked every hypothetical question ever.
Sure.
I'm not. But I don't know off the top of my head. I just know that in 2020 he does not stand out.
Yeah.
His ideas don't stand out.
I mean, right now there's that guy from South Bend, Indiana, who I think is 37.
Buttigieg.
Openly gay candidate. And
Yeah.
it's not even a big deal.
Right.
Like, I love that. I heard him on the Steve Colbert show. I was very impressed with that guy.
Yeah, he's got a lot of charisma.
A lot of charisma, and also like,
And his name's Buttigieg.
and his name is Buttigieg. But also, like, I love that was like the fourth thing he said about himself was his sexual orientation.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, who cares? You know, I think when that stuff comes into play is globally, when you have some countries that, you know, don't respect that at all. They are different than us. They have different cultures, and now the leader of the, you know, the free world, quote unquote, they something about that person doesn't sit well with them. Then you're forcing that issue on the globe. Might be a good thing, but I think it definitely comes into play.
You think the country's ready for a gay president or vice president?
I am. I'm part of the country, I guess. You know, I think that, hey, look, I mean, being gay does not affect your ability to govern at all, I don't think. It affects the values that you have. It affects what you think about gay marriage, and it affects what you think about things like that. But I'm kind of in line with all those things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know if the world is ready for it, but
I don't think the world is. I'm torn on whether the country is. Probably not by a small margin.
probably not. But I think that it's important for those type of folks to run because it does
Yeah.
push the needle forward.
I
And they
agree.
also, if he runs on a large campaign and that guy handles himself well, at least from what I could see in that very short window,
Yeah.
it changes what people think about gay people.
Right.
Because honestly, and this sounds bad to say, but when he came on that show, you're like, oh, that guy doesn't look gay. And that's, you know what I mean? And like, then you're like, what the fuck does that even mean? But
How dare you, Lloyd?
I know exactly, and hey, I'm guilty of sin about that as sure. But you know, some gay people are more flamboyant, they're more feminine, they're more whatever. And this guy, and I would go out as far to say is I'm sure he's very aware of that, and it's a very big piece of what he brings to the table in terms of what's on his mind when he's having these interviews. But that type of thing changes an average person's perspective of what gay can be or should be. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
some people think all gay people are like, you know, queer eye for the straight guy, just over the top and, you know, fun and all that stuff. And that's that's a very small percentage of that community, I would say.
Well, that's the kind of gay that I want out of the president.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not going to be a White House anymore.
I want him to be the biggest, almost offensive stereotype. Like, comes out to debate like, hey.
That would be, I feel like that's the only way you beat Trump in a debate, is just be as way over the other side as you possibly could be. Be like, first of all, that hair, girl.
Oh, I want that. I want that. I think that would be incredible.
Yeah.
Please.
I mean,
please
that's a
make
hell
that
of a
happen.
lot more interesting than a debate between Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump. That literally sounds awful.
Yeah. I wonder about the people going in to debate Donald Trump this next round,
Oh, I
because he
know.
has a very specific debating style in that he doesn't debate. He just kind of insults.
Yeah.
He's like, look at this asshole.
You can't really take the high road with him.
No, you can't, because you're sitting there spouting off facts and he's sitting there like getting in one-liners and digs at you.
Yeah, and then like attaching a weird nickname to you that
Right.
you know, Pocahontas or whatever. What would your technique be if you had to debate him
personally?
Yeah.
See, I go back and forth on that. Like, would I go and make him, like, would I make a nickname for him, or would I go facts? I'd probably do a blend of both. I'd probably have one solid nickname that I know is going to stick, and then the rest I would just layer it with facts and bullet points and that kind of stuff.
You would slap the nickname on him.
I think you have to do at least one, just so the people can have something to call him.
Right.
And I think I'd go with like something like President Littlefinger or something like that, just because of the small hands things, and it's a Game of Thrones reference.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
To that guy.
Oh yeah.
Something like that, or I don't know.
Yeah. Small hands.
Hire a team of Jewish writers to really come up with something that
it's gotta be
stings.
snappy. Very good. Get Seth Meyers in there.
Exactly.
I don't know how I would approach him. I feel like I would want to do something ridiculous. Yeah, like just start talking in a foreign accent just out of nowhere for no reason. But only when I was speaking to him. You know? Just something that would be so unorthodox that it would just like he would need, like, force him to be the straight man and him to be the voice of reason. And I don't know how he would handle that, you know?
He'd give you a zinger of a nickname. That's what he would do. Wacky Lloyd Outquest.
Yeah,
or
like, I am wackadoo, baby.
Something like not clever. I love that all of his nicknames stick, but they're not clever at all.
Yeah.
They're really, it's like little Marco Rubio. Like, wow, buddy.
Yeah, the orangutan, or they call him the orangutan is the one that I think about, like the orange.
No. His nicknames.
Oh,
for other people aren't clever at all.
Right. Pocahontas is
Pocahontas.
pretty venomous.
It really is.
Because not only does it insult, I mean, first of all, she lied about that, and that's a fact, which is dumb of her to do.
Right.
So kind of had it coming. But it's venomous as a nickname because it not only insults her, it sort of is insulting the Native Americans. Yeah. You know, it's almost like using the word Pocahontas as an insult, like that's a shitty thing.
Oh yeah.
That sucks.
Oh, well, it's like if every black guy you met, you called him Jackson 5.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like, dude, how are you getting away with this? This is really bad.
Yeah, ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Well, last week I had said that we would, I gave out a number, 321-222-3179, and I had asked the audience, I'd asked you guys to call in and give us a crazy story.
That's great.
And we had a lot of call-ins.
Oh, cool. Thanks for calling in, you guys.
A lot of them were fun, but not really a full story. A lot of them were incoherent. A lot of them were, you wouldn't want to say it on a...
Yeah. We should, okay, I don't want to sidetrack us, but we should definitely feature some of the most incoherent ones at some point in time.
Oh, God.
Just the rambling drunk.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want it to be a thing where we just ask people to call in and then we trash them.
Yeah.
So we would have to be really clear about it.
For sure.
Okay. But I want to try this. I want to hear this story. We got one from Josh, 23.
Okay, great. So we have to turn it up so
Hi
I
there,
can
my
actually
name is
hear
Josh.
it.
I'm 23 years old, and I was once recruited to join the Secret Service. I went through all the events to join it, and I passed everything with flying colors. It was the most intense experience of my entire life. Possibly nothing else will ever meet its expectations on how thrilling and terrifying it was at the same time. I even had to During the interview process, a guy even came into the stall to watch me, which was pretty horrifying while I went to the restroom. And then eventually when I was on the final part of the process, they took me into the room and told me that I was removed from the process since another agent who met all my expectations had better eyesight than me. So that kind of sucks, but it was quite an experience, something to put on the resume. Anyway, love your podcast. Thanks.
Huh. What was that guy's name again?
Josh.
Josh.
So Josh, 23, going into Secret Service at 23. That's
pretty-
probably average, but it feels young to me.
Well, yeah. and
Right out of college.
I mean, I don't feel like you get recruited to the Secret Service right out of college. I feel like you have to be in the police department or some other sort of, or military, probably military.
They used to be, I think they used to prefer ex-military or law enforcement.
Yeah.
And now it has expanded to so many areas. Like, they need language skills and they need computing skills that it's not all like law enforcement and military anymore.
It's not all just tactical. It's like
Right.
multiple facets.
Yeah.
Like they probably have like social media Secret Service too. Like make sure that you don't get any hate. Well, it sounds like
you just tweet something shitty at the president and the guys in suits just bust in.
I know. POTUS is being tweeted at. POTUS is being tweeted at. Well, it sounds. I mean, it's a bummer that he didn't get picked up. But I mean, if you have not the best eyesight, then I guess that's kind of important. If you're like watching out for stuff, you're literally
Mr. Magoo guarding the president.
But at least, I mean, if I was him, I would be able to sleep at night being like, look, there was nothing that I could have done.
Right.
Like, couldn't he just have been like, yo, let me get some LASIK, man. It's like $1,200. I'll be back in 2 weeks.
Squinted, buddy.
Yeah. Like, he has better eyesight than you. I imagine they weren't real, like, gentle when they tell you that shit. They just sort of slap it on you.
I'm impressed they were that honest with him.
Yeah.
Like that to me is the most surprising thing, where they came back and they were like, yeah, you almost got in, but there's another guy with better eyesight. Like, that's incredibly specific.
I mean, either that or it was something completely different and then they just use that as an excuse, because you can't really unprove that. He was just awful, just awful and everything. And it was like, man, those eyes.
Right. It's
Bummer,
all
man.
about your eyes. It's all, I mean, you scored in the bottom 20% of the test takers, but it's not that. It's that you can't see.
Right.
And you run a 19-minute mile and stuff.
Right.
We can look all past that.
Yeah. A 19-minute mile. You get nauseous anytime you're in a black and white suit.
Oh, God.
Just can't handle it at all.
Well,
that's funny. That's a funny story. Like, I wonder what those tests and things were. Anytime I picture Secret Service, I just picture Men in Black, like all those things that he had to do.
It's apparently a 30-week process.
30 weeks.
Yeah, 30 weeks. Oh, well, of training. I don't know if that's the testing or if that's once you get in the training, but they train for 30 weeks. And they train.
Good.
I was looking it up because I knew we were going to talk about this story, and they apparently teach them. So the human instinct is to run away from danger, or like, oh my God, there's something happening over there. We got to get out of here.
Beat that out of you?
They teach you the opposite. You run toward the problem.
Yeah.
Which I guess helps.
That's what heroes do, right?
Oh, is that what you guys do?
Oh yeah. I saw a conflict the other day. Passed right by.
Was it in Red Dead Redemption? Or
yeah,
in real life?
Man, is it bad that when I was driving in my car the other day and a squirrel ran across the street, I reached for my bow and arrow?
Yes.
I unconsciously was like, oh shit, I better get those upgraded arrows so I don't hurt the pelt.
Well, what if? Okay, here's my question for Josh or for you. What if you had to guard a president and that president was an absolute turd?
Yeah.
Was just the worst.
I mean, that must be part of the training. It has to be part of the training, where it's like you separate yourself from the political stance of the person and you just treat it like you're defending America as a whole. Like, whether or not you like the person, you are defending the safety of the institution of the United States government. That would be how I would approach it, I guess.
See, I'm petty. I feel like the second he made me end my lunch break a few minutes early, I'd be like, I'm not going to take a bullet for this guy. Nope.
Yeah, actually, he goes to the bathroom every day at 2:30. That's all I'm going to say.
Right.
That's where he'll be. Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's been a traitor in the Secret Service. You know what I mean? Like a spy, or worse at some point in our nation's history.
An agent, a Russian agent.
Well, when was the Secret Service invented? Like, when did that start? Maybe you can tell us that, Katie. When was the Secret Service established?
Well, they
I'm going to look it up. Give
Okay,
me a
okay.
second.
So I read a little thing on it. They sort of in the beginning of the American presidency, they sort of balked at the idea of Secret Service because it felt too royal.
It was just a guy named Lou.
Well, it just having guards follow you around felt like the royalty they were trying to get away from.
Right.
But eventually, you know,
After Lincoln.
I want to say it was McKinley.
McKinley was the
Okay.
first president assassinated?
I don't know.
So it was founded July 5th, 1865, 153 years ago.
And who was the president at that time?
Okay. Well, I
Talk
gotta
to you in
look at
5
that.
minutes.
I wasn't ready for that. Hold on.
Fair enough. Yeah, I feel like that's
But it didn't come with the presidency. There were many many presidencies
Sure.
that had no Secret Service because they were like, no, this is too kingly.
too much like royalty.
Yeah, and we're trying to get away from that.
Yeah.
But eventually they were like, yeah, there's a lot of crazies out here.
Yeah.
Okay. This is Katie again. The president in 1865 was Abraham Lincoln.
Oh,
Oh,
damn!
it was.
It was the
So-
rough
Wait.
draft. It was the rough draft.
Abraham Lincoln and Andrew Johnson was.
And they
Yeah.
failed. Just miserable. Their first run out the gate, failure. Like
Yeah.
of the utmost level.
Yeah, but it didn't say why they started it, right? No. Okay.
Dang.
We got to learn our Secret Service history, buddy.
1865.
That's all right.
Oh yeah, here I can read what it says on Wikipedia. It says that it ensures the safety of the President of the United States, the Vice President of the United States, and their immediate families.
Right.
Also, former presidents, their
Yes.
spouses,
They get
and
4 for
minor
life.
Children.
They get 4 Secret Service agents for life. That's what I was told
Paid
when I
by
was
the
a kid.
government?
Yeah. Yeah. Once you get Secret Service, you have them forever.
Awesome.
Presidents do, but presidential candidates get them as well.
Do you get secret self-service?
What the hell is that?
I don't know. Maybe they pump your gas for you, or like they go out on delivery runs. I imagine they just become like a butler after a while.
So when I was at Columbia, we had some friends over at Harvard, friends of friends, and they all went camping with their Harvard classmates or whatever. And they're out in the woods, and there were these guys like following them, like these sort of shadowy figures following them as they're going camping. And someone's like, "Who the hell are these? Are these other campers like way back here? Like I feel like they're following us." And they were like, they're here for Laura."
Oh, is it
And
Laura
it was
Bush?
Laura Bush, yeah. And
Oh,
that person didn't
wow.
even know that Laura was Laura Bush.
Bush.
It was just like, oh, this is my friend Laura from class.
Yeah, how do you Secret Service someone when they're in the woods? Like, how do you?
They-
I thought Secret Service was all about going ahead of time to wherever that person was going to be, scouting it out, and making sure everything was safe. Does she? I mean, she probably has to get used to being real transparent with those people. Like, look,
I don't know. What's their tattletale policy?
right? And like,
You
what
know,
happens
I saw
when you're trying to
Laura
get
out in the woods?
right? What happens if you have intimate moments?
Right.
You know, what are you doing?
Katie, again, I'm just reading through this very long Wikipedia article. I found the reason it was founded.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
So originally, it was founded to suppress counterfeit currency.
Okay.
It had
Oh,
nothing
that's
to do with
right.
protection. Then, the legislation creating the agency was on Abraham Lincoln's desk the night he was assassinated.
What?
That's what it says in Wikipedia.
Awesome.
Yeah. So then it obviously went from there, and they wanted to stop other presidents from being killed.
Dang.
Seems like a noble cause.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, you know, maybe it's more important to keep them alive than it is to worry about the money. Wow.
I don't know. Money's pretty important.
Yeah, it is pretty important. It was so much easier to counterfeit money back in the day. You just draw it on a piece of paper. Like, you know, cut it out of a, you know, piece of parchment and just see it. It only needs to work once. You know what I mean? Like that's counterfeit money only needs to work one time.
Right.
Yeah. So, well, interesting story.
Yeah. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Josh, for calling in and bearing your soul, and also for not being a crazy person.
Yeah. I wonder what he does now.
Secret Service.
Well, he has all these qualifications.
Yeah, now he's just a UFC fighter who, like, you know, he's got to get in close.
Oh gosh. Well, that's still. I mean, I feel like if you went into the Secret Service and you actually failed to get in, but then you went on to the UFC, like you would end your story with that. Well, I'm in the UFC now.
Right.
So I'm guessing Josh
Now,
stocks the back room at Walmart now
yeah,
because he didn't end his story with his badass job now.
right. He's not. Yeah,
But it's temporary because he's clearly got all these qualifications.
he's clearly got skills.
Yeah.
he's clearly got skills. Josh, let us know what you do now. In the comments.
All right, we got Tommy, who's also 23.
All right.
Hey, Ray. Hey, Lloyd.
Hi.
My name is Tommy Bishop out of Alexandria, Virginia. I'm about 20 years old. And I was just listening to the podcast, and I got out of a client's house today. I repair wheelchairs for kids, and we're allowed to take tips sometimes. So the guy pulls out his wallet, and I'm thinking, oh, sweet. And he pulls out 100 and then 2 and 3, and we get all the way up to $1,000. And then he puts it back in his pocket, gives me a handshake, and tells me thank you for the job. I'm sad now. I'm a huge fan of both of your guys' work. Yeah, thank you.
Every bone in my body is trying to make an awful joke that I cannot say. But what a dick.
Go ahead. We're all friends here.
I mean, no, I'm not going to. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
I think that's
you
funny.
can put the pieces together. The guy is repairing a wheelchair for this dude's kid. Oh, man. What a dick.
I think that's super funny.
I mean, it's funny, but
100, 200, 300, and all the way up to 1,000, and he just puts it back in his pocket.
and then says then that makes me be like, all right, I guess I'm not going to tighten the rest of those nuts on your kid's wheelchair now. Good luck getting him around.
One wheel just starts veering off.
Yeah. I mean, you have some trouble. The guy's over there. You're not a man enough to fix the damn wheelchair yourself. Maybe it's one of those like electrical ones or something.
Tommy is one hell of a humanitarian. Like if that's his job.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, that if that doesn't get him a date,
I was gonna say he totally gets laid from that job.
Yeah,
what do you do? I fix wheelchairs for children.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, I feel like I need to give you a sexual favor just to keep you happy and focused.
Well, that's also his excuse for everything. I'm sorry I was late. I was fixing a wheelchair for a child with one leg.
No problem, Tommy. Yeah. You know how fast you were going, sir?
Yeah, sorry. I do. Unfortunately, I was on my way to put some extra nuts and bolts on this wheelchair. These kids got this basketball game they got to get to.
As you were.
Sorry.
As you were. Give me all your money, please.
Oh man, I wish I made more money, but I actually invest a lot into my child's wheelchair repair company.
Oh God, I feel so bad. Here, take some of my money. Here, 100, 200, 300. Why?
It's one of those. I don't think he was being a dick. The customer. I think it was one of those dad jokes that he thought was funny.
Yeah. Why does he have $1,000 in his wallet? And how do you sit down?
I feel so bad for that kid. Yeah. Not only is he in a wheelchair, but he's got the kind of dad that makes
shit.
Those jokes, and he can't exactly run away.
Yeah. He's stuck there.
God dang it.
I mean, $1,000 when you fold it in half and then you have to sit on it, that can give you a lumbar issue.
Yeah, I would think so.
Like, why are you keeping $1,000 in the? Jeez,
because he frequents the strip club.
Oh, damn, dude!
Dad.
I mean, he's using $100. Some people drop a lot of money at strip clubs. I think.
I think people save up money from the week. They're working hard all week. They save up the money just so that they can go to the local strip club and spend it on a stripper named Cinnamon.
It's always
probably.
Cinnamon.
That probably happens.
I'm admittedly too cheap for that ever to be an issue.
I know, right?
How much do you want again? Can we discuss this rate?
You're over there trying to haggle with the strippers and stuff. Can I get a 13-second twerk for $27.50?
A lap dance? How about just like one leg?
Just
maybe
right.
Maybe we can work something out. Can I do it in installments or something? Man, well, geez, I don't. Hopefully you did a good job fixing that kid's wheelchair, and the kid never has a problem again. But
I think you could do
maybe
a
the karma is coming from the dad, and it landed on the kid.
Oh my God!
You make shitty jokes like that. It's terrible.
I think you could do a half-ass job fixing a kid's wheelchair, and you're still a hero.
I mean, unless it breaks when the kid's going downhill and he plummets to his doom.
Hey, but you were just trying to help.
Yeah, I was just trying to help.
I was just trying to help, man.
Negligence.
Wow.
Man.
All right, we got Chris, who's 26.
Hi, my name's Chris. I'm 26 years old, and I want to tell you about finding one of the most amazing and horrifying things in the world. So, throughout my life, I've always had the adage of, you know what's worse than anything? If you add Nazi to it, it's instantly worse. Parking ticket with Nazis, worse than a parking ticket, etc. I also had a joke about juggalos. I always like making fun of them. It's a long story. And one day I was like, what could possibly be worse than a Nazi? And my friend was like, a Juggalo Nazi. And I was like, yeah, those don't exist. They're not real. Now, about 3 months later, I was at a bonfire with all of my friends, and they invited a couple people I didn't know. And one of them was this guy named, we'll say Mark. And he was a weirdo, weird dude, just a little off. Didn't talk very often, said weird, strange things. We all got drunk at the bonfire, having a blast. And I see the Hatchet Man, which is the symbol of the Juggalos, on his neck as a tattoo. And I also see swastika on the other shoulder. And I just realized I've actually met a Juggalo Nazi. Now, the joke became real. They're real, and I couldn't handle that. So that just blew my fucking mind. And that's how we've come across the strangest thing I've ever met, at least, which is a real-life Juggalo Nazi.
A Jugalo Nazi.
I don't even know.
Wait.
I don't even know. I talked to the guy for 5 minutes, couldn't believe someone like this existed. He got drunk and tried to hit me, and then I got him an Uber home. And I don't know why I got the Juggalo Nazi an Uber home, but I did. And not the craziest, but it's up there.
Wow.
I love Chris's story.
Wow.
I love Chris's story. He could have told that story in like 18 seconds, but he went ahead and took 2 minutes
to
get all of it out.
It's important. A Nazi.
Yeah.
Juggalo Nazi? A Nazi jug.
A juggernaut.
Juggernaut.
A juggernaut.
Hey.
Wow.
You heard it here first.
Exactly. That's like two of the worst thing ever. He's not wrong.
Yeah.
He's not wrong about like what could be worse than a Nazi? Well, a Juggalo Nazi.
Yeah. I guess, you could add Juggalo to anything and it would be worse. I feel like he said you could add Nazi to anything and it would be worse. But I feel like you can add Juggalo to anything and it could be worse.
Yeah.
Like, what's worse than getting a traffic ticket? Getting a traffic ticket by a Juggalo. Way worse. Because they're going to be listening to Insane Clown Posse? How did this culture happen? Like, Insane Clown Posse, not that great of a band. Like,
No.
not that fun. And
yeah, like their music doesn't really. I don't know.
no, it's not that.
I've
like
heard
Kiss.
some of it.
It's like Kiss, is
Right.
what it is. Like
It's a
Kiss-
gimmick.
Kiss is not that great of a band.
Right.
They have like 2 songs, and one of them is "I Want to Party All Night Long" or whatever, and the other one I don't.
I
even
want to
fuck-
rock and roll all night.
Yeah, exactly.
How dare you?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's like, what is going on with that group of people, the Juggalos? I have a friend who's a Juggalo, and he's got a tattoo.
I was going to ask if you knew any Juggalos.
I
Do you have
know
a
a
friend who's a
Juggalo.
Juggalo?
Yes.
Go on.
And he's crazy. I love him, but he's crazy.
Well, yeah, you have to be. But
He's a crazy person.
what's your friend's deal? What's his story?
He is like, he's one of those guys who like sells tickets, like scalps tickets.
Oh,
and
God.
Like,
I got two.
Yeah, and like did that business his whole life. And he's just, I love him to death, but he's a crazy person. And that's what I feel like that whole culture is. You're like, what the
And he listens to Insane Clown
I
Posse
think he
and is
used
like, this
to.
is good.
I think he used to. I think it's less about the music. Whenever you're a band and you know that your scene is less about you and more about the parking lot, then I feel like you really need to ask yourselves about your musicianship. Like Fish. Fish is more about the grilled cheese in the parking lot than it is about the actual show. Even though I think Fish is actually pretty talented.
Yeah. They're a jam band.
Yeah, they're a jam band. But people don't go, they go for the community. They go for the experience. They don't go for like the actual songs because they don't even sound like the songs. They're like 40 minutes long. I've been to a couple jam band shows and I don't know.
Insane Clown Posse doesn't jam. They don't freestyle.
They rock, bro. I know. So Jesus, an insane clown. It doesn't surprise me. Insane Clown Posse does sound like it could easily have Nazis and skinheads for sure. Why is that a surprise? Why is that a surprise?
What I know, right? Well, it's
You wear
it's
a
someone
mask.
dipping into two different parts of counterculture. So I can see that personality really being attracted to either of those. Oh, people don't like juggalos. I guess I'll be part of that. People don't like Nazis. I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah. They like, super aggressive, high rate, like fast music. That's like kind of rap, kind of rock. I don't even know what I couldn't name you one song of theirs.
It's rap.
It's rap.
Yeah, it's definitely rap. I mean, I've heard enough of it
Okay. Well,
to know that it's rap. It's not like it doesn't stand out.
I mean, when's the last time they had a song anywhere?
I think they put out albums all the time. I
Yeah.
just don't. I think it's underground,
Yeah.
and it's like. I mean, it's all very on theme. I'm gonna stab and kill and stab and kick and stab and
Yeah.
stab some more.
And I'm dressed up like a clown?
Yeah,
Like, what
that's
the
it.
fuck?
That's it.
Like, it's like
That's all
John
of it.
Wayne Gacy shit.
And magnets, yo.
I mean, do they just leave the like they have two shows back to back? Like, say they have a show, say they got a morning show for some reason and they had a show at night. Do they just leave the makeup on? Like, I didn't want to take it off and then put it on again. I just left it on.
Welcome to K505,
Yeah.
the Juggalo.
The Juggalo station. Oh, man.
Please.
Juggalo gang.
Wow. See, he's probably part of the Logan Paul phenomenon too.
Yeah.
That guy, that Juggalo Nazi. I like in Chris's story that the guy tried to fight him.
Yeah.
Of course. Exactly right on cue.
Yeah.
He tries to fist fight someone at the party.
Of course. And it's also a bonfire party, which
Yeah.
is like even better. Like they're burning things. Like, I could just picture it now, just like a bunch of like juggalos dancing around a fire, like some sort of weird where the wild things are
Yeah.
scene.
Well, also, Chris, at these bonfire parties, somebody clearly needs to tend to the guest list.
Yes.
Because at some point, someone said, "Hey, Chris, you mind if I bring my buddy Mark?
yeah.
Yeah, what's he like? He's he likes German history.
Yeah,
He's one
exactly.
of those guys,
He likes pointy hats.
and aggressive rap music.
yeah.
And you got to be like, no, you're not inviting your Nazi cousin to my
Yeah.
bonfire
No.
party.
No
Who the
Nazis.
hell invited him?
Yeah.
Chris, Mark is one friend removed from you. That's the way you have to think about this.
Right. You're responsible. It takes a village to kill a Nazi.
Right. So you are friends with someone who likes that guy.
Fair. Wow.
I always think about that stuff.
Or is it no? Because I guess it could be that way. Yeah, you're now responsible. You're partially responsible.
Well, whoever brought the guy is responsible.
Or what if they weren't even invited?
He's
though?
got his Nazi tattoos out.
I know that's like some prison shit.
Yeah.
Like you don't wear it. Like you're never gonna get a job. Like how do you have a Nazi tattoo? And this kid's 20, which is the sad part.
He's 26.
I mean, still.
Okay.
Like you got your whole life ahead of you. Like, oh my God, the guy's got a I would hope that the Juggalo people would take issue with that. Like, I would hope that they were like, don't put a Juggalo tattoo next to a Nazi tattoo and then come to our show.
I always wonder about that.
Yeah.
Like, if I had a gang and someone was misrepresenting my gang, I'd be like, you can't do that.
There's a great band called the Dropkick Murphys.
Okay.
And they're like this Irish, I don't know, ska core kind of like punk band.
I know who the Dropkick Murphys are.
Oh, okay, well, maybe
Come on.
for all of you
How
people out
dare
there.
you?
But like ska and punk and skinheads, that world used to be pretty close. You know what I mean? Like Doc Marten boots and like two-tone skins and stuff like that. And there's this video of the lead singer, I can't remember what his name is, but this kid jumps up on stage and starts doing like that Nazi step and the Sig Heil thing. And just the lead singer of the band just decks this kid right on stage. And he goes, "That's what happens if you throw a swastika at a Dropkick Murphy show." And you're like, yeah, it's the best thing ever.
Nice.
Yeah. So if I was a juggalo, that's not a juggalo. If I was an insane clown of a posse, I would take issue with somebody having a tattoo of me next to that Nazi thing.
Yeah, maybe there were different phases in his life.
Yeah.
I used to be a Nazi, now I'm a juggalo.
Yeah, but just
I don't know if that's a step up.
Make the Nazi tattoo into the juggalo tattoo. I mean, there should be a service that just has a lot of very creative options of what you can turn a swastika into.
Right, or ex-girlfriend tattoos or whatever. Yeah.
It's like it could very easily be a Chinese star or the weapon from Krull or, any of these
Jesus
things.
on a cross.
Jesus on a cross. Yeah. Or like one of the, a Grateful Dead dancing bear, I'm sure. Something. Turn it into something. Christ's sake. Do-over tattoos.
Exactly. Well, I think it's about time, sir.
What do we got?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yay.
So you want to explain the rules?
Stoner Thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, is a segment on the show here we do several weeks. Usually we do it every other week.
Every week, because you guys like it.
Yeah. We take a thought that would typically only be popped into your mind when you were high off the tweezy, blazed off the grass, or, cracked off that shatter. So when you're high, you have certain thoughts, sort of like shower thoughts, like the internet meme. And then we respond to those stoner thoughts. And you can feel free to do the same in the comments if you like, or give us one in the comments that we might enjoy talking about next week. So what do we got?
It was a long walk for a
I know.
small drink of
It's
water.
a long
buddy.
walk for a small dog.
Here we go.
Stoner thoughts.
Number one, dad mugs must become really controversial in same-sex marriage.
Oh yeah. I have to add an asterisk to that.
Go ahead.
A same-sex marriage with children.
Well, yeah.
I'm stoned, man.
I could see them fist fighting over it. I'm the world's greatest dad. No, I'm the world's
I'm
greatest
the
dad.
world's Well, we don't have kids. Same sex. Yeah. Number one, dad, they got his and his towels. I always liked that. Was funny. His and
Two
his
grooms
towel-
on top of the cake?
Yeah.
I'm into that.
Yeah.
I went to a wedding one time and I saw that. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's cool.
It's awesome.
Because I didn't expect that.
It's awesome. My brother got married to his husband, and that wedding was beautiful. And all the little things are different that you think about that you don't think about, like, who walks who down the aisle and who reads their vows first and what the rings do and all that stuff. And it's all opportunities to make things nice and special.
Okay. So what did you mean they like choose a side or whatever?
Yeah, marriage can be traditional or not as much as you want, but like typically it's like the groom's side is on one side of the venue sitting and the bride's side's on the right family, and so you have to decide that, and like who goes first when they read the vows, and you may kiss the bride, and all those little terms and things get tweaked. Which is
Okay.
nice. It's nice.
And they cut out the prayer and stuff, right?
Well-
Because they're heathens?
Yeah, because
Okay.
they're gonna burn in hell.
That's right.
Stoner thoughts.
If all the USB ports in the world were flipped over, no one would notice.
Whoa.
I hate USB ports so much.
Why?
Because I can never stick it in right. Takes me
That's-
19 tries to get it in. And I flip it and it doesn't work, and I flip it again and it still doesn't work.
You're really lobbing this one up here for me, bro. I mean, that's what he said. Hey, still got it. Wednesdays at noon. Yeah.
For all your 12-year-old humor needs, come to Kings of Influence podcast.
There you go. I feel like USB ports are a dying breed. It's all going to be Thunderbolts pretty soon, right?
That's what. Never mind.
Yeah.
What's a Thunderbolt?
A Thunderbolt port. It's like a faster connection, like a FireWire almost.
I don't know what you fancy kids are into.
Yeah. They have less and less USB ports all the time.
I want to know where in the hell my headphones jack went on my iPhone.
Yeah, dude. That kills me.
I'll be screaming about that till I'm an old man.
You're killing me. I can't charge my phone and listen to headphones at the same time. What the hell's going on?
Killing me.
Stoner thoughts.
The most popular prosthetic limb is the dildo.
Whoa.
It is.
I know.
Best-selling.
blown.
Best-selling prosthetic limb, not the fake leg, not the mechanical hand, not a glass eye. It's the dildo.
Yeah, but I got problems with this.
Why?
Because if it was men getting dildos, then because a prosthetic limb replaces a limb that you naturally have, and a woman doesn't naturally have a dick. So if it'd be like if I got a prosthetic third ear.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
All I can tell you is what's popular.
Right.
All I can tell you is what part of the human anatomy sells better than other parts of human anatomy.
Yeah, what fake part of the human anatomy gets? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, fair. They have prosthetic everything.
Don't rain on my dildo parade, buddy.
Is it a fisting dildo? Maybe that's that. Hey, maybe if you're really into it, you can get to get those dildos that are just hands, so you can like do these crazy fisting things.
If it's a fist, I don't think it qualifies as a dildo anymore.
If you fuck someone with it, it is.
No, just because. Look, if you could F someone with a broomstick, and that doesn't make it a dildo. It's still a broomstick.
I don't know. Is the definition of dildo a phallus? Is it a phallus?
Yeah.
Or is it just? Is it? Because then wouldn't a vibrator be a dildo?
Vibrator? No, a vibrator's a vibrator, but a dildo can have vibrating qualities.
Oh boy. All right.
I think Katie might have something to say.
What does Katie have to say about this?
Sorry, I just have to chime in.
Go ahead.
As a female who has purchased vibrators, a vibrator can be a dildo, okay? But not every dildo is a vibrator.
Okay.
Right.
So, like, you could have a vibrating thing that's shaped like a circle.
Sure.
It doesn't have to be shaped like a dick.
Right.
But if it's shaped like a dick, it is a dildo.
It's shaped like a dick. So the broomstick is shaped like a dick.
And here, the dictionary.com definition of dildo, because
Okay,
I think
great.
that might clear some things up.
I
for
love
us.
what's going to come up in your search engine from now on.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You're welcome. Dildo, an artificial erect penis used as a sexual aid.
Could be a broomstick.
No, you can't just
It says
assign.
artificial erect penis.
If you're
Right.
using it as an artificial erect penis, isn't it an erect penis?
No,
if I
you
use a
can't just-
carrot as an artificial erect penis, then I'm dildoing myself with
You
it.
can't whittle a mop handle into a penis shape and call it a dildo. It's still a mop handle.
you could if you like made it nice and really like put some made it look like a dick.
Add some detail.
I'm sure, but it's still
Put
a mop
some effort
handle.
in, right?
It's still a mop handle.
Because they have dragon dildos. They're shaped like dragons. But then they still are calling them dildos.
Because it was made to be a dildo.
All right, dude. I just kind of respectfully disagree.
I'm just
with your
saying,
dildo.
whatever the creator intended it to be, that's what it is.
If it was intended as a sexual aid.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you intend to use
Right.
a mop handle as a sexual aid.
And not all. Some dildos vibrate, but not all vibrators are
dildo.
dildos. It's like all Nazis are German, but not all Germans are Nazis. It's like that thing.
That's not true though either.
No, but that's an old saying. That's before neo-Nazis.
Got it.
God damn it. If the fat acceptance movement marched enough, it would resolve itself. It's kind of mean.
I want to go back to dildos. It's
kinda mean.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's like, why isn't the civil rights movement in March? That's a lot more appropriate name for
The March
month.
in March?
Yeah. Why wouldn't you just call it March?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the weather, the rain.
I don't know.
They get
Who
a lot more
knows?
done.
I don't know.
That should be our response to everything on this podcast. I don't know.
I don't know.
I just
We're stoned.
whatever.
We don't know.
I don't know.
I
I'm
don't know.
on Dayquil right now, so I don't know what the hell's
Dude.
going on.
Sometimes I take Dayquil just in case.
Just to feel something.
Just to feel.
Red can be read as read, but you can also read it as red.
What? What? Whoa.
Red can be read as read, but you can also read it as red.
God, that's whoa.
Is that blowing your mind?
That's too much. Like that's why the English language is just an awful language to try and learn. Because there's words like track. There's like 5 meanings to that word, or break. You're like, what does it mean? It means to break something. Yeah, but it also can mean like
Right.
your
An interval of time that you take off work.
Yeah, it could also mean the opportunity that you got that opened up a bunch of doors for you. It can also mean, you're like, wow,
Right.
how many times am I supposed to remember this word? Yeah, English. And I guess
Why don't they spell red like red?
I don't know, because that's the color. Who knows?
Riad.
Riad, red. I don't know.
They should let us invent the language.
I don't know.
I'll straighten it out.
I don't know.
Old ladies are either super sweet or assholes. There is no in between.
Yeah, whoa.
That's very, very true.
kind of true. It's like never the paths out. They just diverge
Yeah.
the older you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like evil, or they're the nicest, sweetest old woman who wants to cook you goulash or whatever.
Yeah. I feel like I had two grandmothers, two versions of that grandmother.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had like the very sweet grandma.
And then you had
But
Satan.
it's tough because your grandma's always going to be sweet to you.
Right.
Especially if you're an Italian grandmother and I'm like one of the oldest sons. You know what I mean? Like there's a special spot for grandmother and her grandson. So I'll never have a clean read on that. I'll never know. She could be awful to everybody else.
Right.
I don't think so.
Just
though.
secretly.
I don't think so.
Just horrible.
Yeah.
Stoner Thoughts.
Wolverine had white teeth despite his whole skeleton being plated in adamantium.
I know the answer to this
Okay, go ahead, because I don't.
because teeth aren't bone.
What?
Teeth isn't.
I thought teeth were bone.
Teeth is not bone. Teeth is a different. It's keratin or anyway. He didn't get the adamantium injected into his teeth because they're not bones. Your jaw is made of bone, and teeth sit in your jaw, bone.
Okay.
But his teeth are not bone, and I can't tell you why I know this.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. That's some crazy trivia.
Yeah, I can't tell you.
It's
why.
crazy comic book trivia.
I love Wolverine.
Wolverine's great.
Wolverine's my shit. And Hugh Jackman, not a good Wolverine.
I agree.
I don't care what you say. Oh, I'm glad you say that.
I agree.
Yeah. Why don't you think so?
He's too tall.
Too tall.
He's
God
way too
damn it.
tall.
He's too tall.
He's too big.
That's his whole thing.
Right. He's a Wolverine. He's
He's
a little badger, rabid, like crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Yeah. Okay, great. You and I, for obvious
Yeah.
reasons.
Right.
Agree
Well,
on this.
because I'm always going to lean on, the comic book
Yeah.
because I'm that guy.
Well, I mean, and it's not to say for me that Hugh Jackman didn't do a good job with the role. Sometimes you're just cursed as being gorgeous and tall. It's awful.
Right.
But, you got to suffer
It's
through.
a hell of a life.
But
It's your cross to bear.
awful. I would hate that. Not having to reach up for the thing on the top of the refrigerator anymore. Just walking on to any roller coaster I want, not getting carted when I'm 42. I'd love that. But yeah, he's too tall and not hairy enough.
That's true.
Although it's not, I let that one slide because it's not real, back hair it's just not, you can't pull it off. It's just tough.
They should have done like the anatomically correct Wolverine. That'd have been funny. Just like a little hairy guy,
Yeah.
like
Danny DeVito kind
yeah,
of a thing.
yeah. I was gonna say George Costanza.
Yeah.
like just a little hairy guy.
I don't know that
grumpy.
doesn't fly in today's Hollywood.
No, of course not.
Anyway, so yeah, teeth not bone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that is Stoner Thoughts. That's also all I thought the calls would last longer.
That's what she said. Yeah. Well, geez, what else? Well, first of all, we should tell people to. I'd love to do this segment again. So
I would too.
If you
I
have
like the calls.
Yeah, if you have a story that you want to let us,
You want to go specific?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
think about something specific.
Okay, I got one. So we're gonna give you a number. You can call this number, leave us a message. Tell us your craziest or weirdest breakup story. Either you broke up, or they broke up, or even your parents break. Just some story about you or someone breaking up. So you're gonna call. You're gonna leave your first name, or you can make up a name, your age, and then tell us your craziest breakup story. Number is 321-222-3179.
What's that number again?
That is 321-222-3179.
The phones are ringing off the hook.
You notice that we like say phone numbers in the exact same rhythm.
Yeah,
Everyone does.
because it's pounded into your brain.
Da 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 like that.
I wonder if that's a generational thing because kids nowadays, like I was at the club the other day and I met this person who like we might do some work together and she didn't give me her phone number. She punched her Instagram into my phone. And that was like her first impulse was to give me her Instagram page and to get in touch with her there. I was
What?
like, that's crazy. I mean, but I feel like that happens a lot more. There's so many more options. You don't just give somebody your phone number because then they can call you. But I wonder if millennials would say a phone number in that same way or that they don't even. I have 2 phone numbers memorized, I think, in my whole brain now. Like
yeah. Or maybe they won't have any rhythm. 3 1 7 4 19 8 9 7.
Yeah. Or yeah, I think that the days of remembering phone numbers is just gone.
Well, yeah.
That's
I don't have
sad.
space in my brain to remember a phone number.
I know. It's too hard.
I might remember one from my childhood.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't even remember mine. Are you that guy? Because I'm that guy.
I'm not there yet.
I'm like, oh
but I'm
shit,
close.
what is it? If I haven't said my own phone number in like 6 months, which happens all the time,
Yeah.
I got to sit there and think about it.
I fucking forget my ATM card pin all the time. And then I'm like hitting it twice and it's like denying it twice and telling me it's going to change it. I'm like, forget it. I don't need this, Snickers bar or whatever the hell I was buying.
That's the USB port with me. Slide it. No, it won't go in. Oh, I got to flip it. It still won't go in.
Is this the right
Son of a
size?
bitch. Kelly, will you come look at this? Is this one of those European models?
It all works for that's what
Kelly,
she said, Joe.
come look at it. Is this USB right?
I don't know. I don't want to do an impression of Kelly. I'm sure she's listening to this, and I don't want to. My impression of Kelly. Oh my gosh. Well,
sorry, I didn't come up with more. I was really, I do this shit at the last minute. And I was really under the weather.
No, it's fine. We're at 1:00. It's a tight hour. We just ran a tight 60.
Tight 60.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care about how you feel. I care about how the audience feels.
Hey, look, I want to be a tight 60 when I'm 60. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think. Look,
we can call
I
it
feel
if
like
we want.
I feel like I've done a great show. I feel like I excelled expectations today, and you got to have self-love. So, there's that.
Okay, we can call it.
Yeah. Well, guys, thanks for listening. This has been the Kings of Influence podcast. We're here every Wednesday. If you haven't started following us on YouTube or whatever, please subscribe, and you can ingest our podcast anywhere podcasts are distributed. So SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, all that kind of stuff. And
call that number, 321-222-3179. Leave us a message. Leave your name, your first name, your age, and your craziest breakup story. Someone broke up with you broke up with someone else, someone flipped out when you broke up with them, your parents broke up and it scarred you for life. That'd be good.
All that stuff is all your pain makes for a great podcast.
I know.
Us,
well,
so.
we can pull more stories next time.
Yeah.
Because we can go through them pretty fast.
That'd be great.
I didn't realize.
I know. We work our way through it. But those were great stories. And thanks again.
Oh, yeah.
So thanks, guys. I'm Lloyd.
I'm Ray.
We'll talk to you next week.
We're out of here. Oh, wait. Let's do the...
we're going to do the digital Q&A.
Yeah. Almost signed off because